Hey guys, it's Cenpaiz here, and today I'll be talking about a manhwa that I have just recently finished. To stay notified for future content, subscribe, and click on the bell for when a new video drops. Let's get into the video. So, Isekai has been out for God knows how long, but nowadays it kind of feels less like a type of anime subgenre that gets me hyped every season to something I and many people just view as an overused, saturated subgenre. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some isekai bangers, but every new anime season there seems to be a new isekai which is as bad or even worse as the ones previously, and the source material usually is not that much better. The thing is, I happen to enjoy some of these trashy isekai mangas and shows, but it was kind of getting, in some ways, really repetitive and annoying to see the same isekai tropes over and over again. So instead of reading another manga or watching another anime, I decided to search for something else, and I found a new manhwa. I found FFF-Trash Hero. This manhwa was a breath of fresh air, and on top of it, in my opinion, very unique art style and pretty damn good story, takes a great spin on the isekai genre, and I think it does it in a way that doesn't take away from the story or the plot. In this story, the main character is transported into another world and is forced to live there and deal with their problems. And this time it's defeating a demon king. I mean, kind of sounds familiar, right? This man is forced to deal with knights that consider a one sided beatdown as someone training, prejudiced elven princesses that bully and give him a hard time, and the traditional isekai tropes that this man is not fond of. I mean, after a chick pulls a sword out on him for something that wasn't even his fault, he was ready to wipe her off the face of the earth. I mean, he had to endure this shit for a full decade and isn't in the best mindset after this and kind of has a little bit of anger problems. When he is nearing the Demon King, he's destined to defeat because he was summoned to do it like 10 years ago. He decides to do one for the team, and he gets rid of all of his trash teammates that he was forced to deal with. This man kills them one by one before reaching the Demon King because of all he had to endure and all the shit he had to put up with for the past 10 years. And then when he was finally faced with the Demon King, he one-shot him. Let's face it, all that training for those past 10 years, he wasn't screwing around. After defeating him, he is overjoyed and filled with nothing but excitement to go back home, return to Earth. He's elated and plans to treat everyone better once he goes back. But little did he know, for the past 10 years, this was all a test. Yeah, a test that he failed because his personality and character became complete and utter dog shit after a while. Since and he failed horribly because he got an F for character, he's being sent back in time 10 years prior to where he just defeated this Demon King, and that's to when he first arrived. He is now forced to relive another 10 dreadful years that he just had to experience without any of his equipment, and he has to re-level up, all the experience. But our hero is not down for any of that bullshit. I mean, using his knowledge from his previous life, he decides to take the fastest way to get rid of all the people he sees fit, all the scum. But he does this in a way where he tries to maintain some of his character so he doesn't fail again. So criminals are now his new XP, and his past teammates that would cause trouble later down the line are also XP, and he mercilessly executes them in a way he sees fit. And then he justifies all of his actions with logic and sometimes concrete proof as to why he did it and why he shouldn't be penalized for doing what should have been done. And clearly, he doesn't care what other people think about his stance, because he sees majority of them as tedious NPCs that just get in his way. He may seem like an asshole, but he was summoned out of nowhere without anyone's permission to be in another world. Now, none of us would probably have a problem with this. I mean, unless you're living like that lifestyle and you could just be like, man, kind of wish I wasn't just summoned here. But maybe it wouldn't have been such a problem if he was treated with an ounce of respect. I mean, the head knight in charge of his training resorted to violence for everything and beat him up. And the king's wife was a demon cultist, and the king didn't realize. And worst of all, they summoned this man into another world without any functioning toilets. I mean, being forced to live in these conditions would fuck someone up. I mean, just saying. I kind of like to flush, but like, whatever. This manga is filled with a nice amount of action and comedy that will make you understand the brutal ways this man goes about things and all of his problem solving. I mean, I would be pretty pissed not having a functioning, modernized toilet for 10 years. And then when I'm able to be sent back home, to be sent from the starting point again to relive all that nonsense. There are 52 chapters, and the second season that should resume sometime in September. I think this is definitely worth the read if you're looking for something and have spare time on your hands. I myself am excited to see what else the author has in store for us with the future season coming up. I hope it's filled with even more entertainment and these beautifully colored chapters. I don't know what it is, but I really love the color palette that is used for this manhwa. I mean, it's not something that I haven't seen before, but I like the way that it's implemented into this manhwa, my bad, because there are people that get upset with that. It isn't as superior in quality as something like Solo Leveling, but it is and does a pretty good job at distinguishing itself as a pretty good manhwa. Just finished reading this not too long ago, so my thoughts are still fresh, and I may be relatively biased because I do like isekai a lot. Aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video, and I'm always open to feedback, so feel free to leave your opinions and comments down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you liked, and if you didn't, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified if another video drops. See ya!